guys, welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe that it's 2018, you guys. Like, happy New Year's, and I hope you guys had a wonderful holidays because it just seemed like they flew by. Like, I just remembered when it was May, and May's my birthday, and I was like, oh, I can't wait till December. Can't wait for like the holidays to come up because I love Thanksgiving, stuff like that. So by the time I looked around, it was already November, and like boom, Thanksgiving came and went, and then it was time for Christmas, boom, that came and went, and then New Year's, and like the holidays were just gone with the quickness. Like, they were gone. I was like, no, bring me back. I was ready to go back to spending time with my family and stuff like that. But I did have a wonderful New Year's, wonderful holiday season. I hope you guys did as well. And I want to share with you guys like one thing that I took away from 2017. This is going to be like my side rant for this video. Just something I thought that was really important and I wanted to share with you because I felt like it made my 2017 amazing. And that is that just really hone in on the people who are important to you and, you know, spend time with those people and make time for them, because I felt like last year I really made an effort to build up friendships, bring in friendships into my life and make them that much closer. I met some people like a couple years ago, and last year I really just capitalized on those friendships and I made stronger bonds with those people, and in turn it totally just like turned my social life and like my life around, kind of, so to speak. Like, I made friends that are lifelong friends, amazing people, so happy to have in my life. They just add to my happiness, and I just spent a lot of time with my family. I did a lot of like fun activities. I traveled, I did things like that, and I feel like, you know, I used to be this person who was very closed off. I kind of just hung out with the people I've been hanging out with. Like, I've had like the same group of friends since I was a little kid, and I was complacent with that. I was happy. I didn't feel like I needed other friends. So therefore I was just very closed-minded, and when people tried to like get close to me, I was like, meh, I have good friends already. I don't need any more. And that's like a really bad attitude to have, and I realized that later in life. But like, I feel like when you let people in, it's just really a nice feeling, especially when they turn out to be such great people and such great influences on your life. And I feel like that was definitely a really nice thing for me last year, and especially for my husband. We made awesome friends and we just have fun as a couple with these people. So I think that was like one of the most beneficial things of the year. I loved the way that 2017 ended. I loved the way it started. I loved the way it was in the middle. I just had fun the whole year. I did wonderful trips, wonderful activities. I worked really hard, but I played that much harder, and I felt like my focus was not so much on money, but more so much on social life and enjoying life. Like, I feel like we take life for granted and it goes by so quickly. Like, I know you can reminisce and be like, I remember when I was 8, and then you're like, oh my god, I remember I was a teenager and I was doing this, and then like now you're like an adult, and being an adult is so freaking hard, like being responsible and stuff like that. So I feel like it's just really important that you make time for fun things and for fun people and for great people in your life, and surround yourself with positivity, because it's so easy to get trapped in the negativity because we're just surrounded by it. There's negativity everywhere you turn around, and there are a lot of negative people in this world, but when you find the good ones, like, you hone in on them and you hold them down and you make sure they never leave your side. Like, I just feel like that was just really important for me, and something I want to share with you guys because it just made 2017 like literally one of the best years of my life, especially as an adult. I thought it was absolutely incredible, and I felt like with that mindset that I just shared with you, it just made things that much more fun. So I definitely feel like I had a great year. So I hope you guys did too, and I hope it's just something you take away, and I don't know, like, just listen. Like, you don't necessarily have to apply that to your life, but it's something that worked really well for mine, and I couldn't be happier that I did that. So not a really huge fan of resolutions, like, it's not my thing, but that was something that I did focus on for 2017, and I think it was definitely for the better. So that's that. So now, 4 minutes and 30 seconds later, I'm gonna share with you some of my favorite beauty products this year. I felt like this year was one that was meh in the beauty world for me. Like, I know that in the past I've just been so excited, like there's MAC collaborations coming out, there were seasonal things coming out, and I was just so pumped for them, and I really like was gung-ho about going to the store and getting them as soon as they launch. And like, for me this year, I want to say for a solid like 7 months, I was not interested. Like there was definitely nothing that was appealing to me. There's nothing that I felt like I need to have. There was just nothing like really doing it for me. So I felt like makeup put me in a rut this year, and it's something that I absolutely love. So it was kind of disappointing, but Lord knows I don't need any makeup. If you come into my makeup room, you will see I have like drawers and drawers and drawers of makeup. So I felt like it was kind of for the best because I did get to capitalize on some of the things that I already had in my collection. I could revamp them and see why I purchased them, why I love them so much. So that was a really good thing about this year. And then like towards the last 3 months, I felt like they came out with some bomb ass launches. So I was like, ooh, I need that. Ooh, I need that. So I did capitalize and make up for lost time in the last 3 months. So don't be surprised if you see products that are fairly newer, because they're products that I've used and I've loved for the last several months, and I know they're going to be staples in my collection, and I'm really happy with them even though it's been several months. So I'm going to share them with you. Some are OGs, some are new, but all of them I love. So I'm going to start with bronzers, and I'm going to start with my most used bronzer, and that has to be the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess Bronzer. I'm in the color 04 Deep, and I didn't even realize how much I use this until one of my subscribers commented down below in my video, and she was like, you really use that bronzer a lot. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I was like, huh. And I started looking through my videos, and like I was using this in so many videos. So I was like, that girl is right. Like this is my jam. Like I've been gravitating towards it. So this bronzer is so beautiful. It looks so nice on the skin. I love it. It's a bronzer that is definitely more on the warm side. It's not one that is like specific for contouring, I want to say, because it doesn't have any really great undertones. But I love that because this year I feel like I haven't been contouring as much as I usually did in the past. And like, for example, the NARS Ita brush, that was like my die-hard brush. Like I had to have it with me at all times when I traveled. And now like I barely even use it because that's how much I don't contour. So I feel like this shade has been especially nice because of that. I feel like it just gives me that really nice all over the face warmth and that nice bronzy like sun-kissed look. And it's just exactly what I was looking for without even knowing. And shout out to Amanda Ensing because she was the one who included this in one of her videos like quite some time ago, and I went out and got it, and I just have been in love with it ever since I purchased it. And I will swatch it for you so you can have an idea of what it looks like. And this is really beautiful because it does have flecks of shimmer, which usually I don't gravitate towards, but in this one it looks really nice. I didn't really get a good swatch, sorry guys. But in this, it's really beautiful and I love it, and it's so silky. Like that's the one thing I really love about this formulation. I don't know if the light's doing it any justice, but it's beautiful on the skin, and it just goes on so easy, and it looks nice on your foundation. I feel like once it settles with your foundation, it just looks so like skin-like, so I love that. So this has been my most used. I love it so much. It's such a great one, and you get such a good amount of product. Like look at how large that pan is. So I don't remember how much it exactly costs, but I definitely think it's worth every penny. So moving on from that one, I'm going to share with you my newest bronzer that I absolutely love. I think it's definitely like my new like go-to bronzer because I've just been gravitating towards it ever since I bought it. And it's a part of a palette, and it is the Makeup Forever Lustrous Blush Palette. This is the palette that they launched not too long ago. I want to say 2 or 3 months ago. Okay, so this palette's a really cool concept because it has a really cool array of shades, but I will say that this is not practical for the everyday person because it is a more expensive price point. I believe this was about $150 or so. Me, you know, I like to work them deals, girl. I got it for the 20% off VIB Rue sale. So this palette I think is more geared towards those who freelance, makeup artists, anybody who's in that field, because I feel like this is not very specific to one person because they have so much variety and so much versatility. I feel like this is not going to be so user friendly for just one person. You won't get your money's worth because you won't be utilizing every shade. Like me personally, I don't mind because I think it's pretty bomb. Like the ones I don't use, I can use as eyeshadows and stuff like that. So I do use it, and I am using like all the shades, which is pretty cool. But I don't know if it's like completely worth the money for those who are not like huge like makeup collectors like myself. But yeah. So this palette's really cool. It comes with like some nice highlighting shades. It comes with some blushes shades. and it ranges in different colors. And this bronzer is in the color S118. And when I first saw it, I didn't think it was gonna look good on me. I literally thought that it was like very gray, it was gonna look very muddy on my skin, and I was a little skeptical, I will be honest. But when I tried it, girl, I feel like it's the perfect combination of gray undertones with the warmth of a nice bronzer, and it is so perfect. It gives you really great dimension, and though I have not been contouring, I feel like it gives me that contoured look without being too precise and so detailed. So I love this because I like generalize bronzing with like a big fluffy brush, and I just feel like it makes it a little bit more glam because it gives me a little more dimension, whereas it's like not like all over warmth. But I love this, you guys. It is so perfect. Look at how beautiful it is. I just feel like it ties in everything you need in a bronzer. It's got a little bit of gray, it's got the warmth, it's just perfect. I think it's like the perfect tone for my skin tone, and I'm a max NC 44, so it really worked well for me. I am gravitating towards it so hard, and I definitely feel like it's something I will buy separately because I use it so much and I don't want to be lugging this palette around all the time, especially when I'm traveling, which I've been doing a lot lately. But I want to use it, I want to buy it because it's amazing and I love it, and I definitely suggest it for you guys. Like I know it has to be available outside of the palette because they did just relaunch all their blushes and stuff like that. So definitely such a great find. I'm so happy I stumbled upon it, and like I'm pretty sure you guys will be happy with it too. It's absolutely stunning on the skin. Okay, now moving on from those two, I'm going to share with you one from NARS. This is the NARS blush in the color Casino, and if you're a little bit lighter in skin tone, they have one in the color Laguna. And I am really happy with this because NARS was, I think, one of the first bronzers I got that was a little bit deeper in skin tone, and I was really happy about that because if you watch my channel, you know that I think that they are just very limited on bronzers, and I feel like they don't have too much for people who are deeper in complexion. But I feel like over the last couple of years, they really have stepped it up. I feel like some brands still need to continue stepping it up, but I'm happy with the progress out there, and this was definitely one of the OGs in the bronzer category for me, and you can see I clearly love it because I have hit pan. And this bronzer is very cool toned, I want to say. It's got a lot of gray in it, but I love it. It works well for me, and it does have these like shimmering flecks of shimmer, but it's not overpowering, and I like the way it looks. So that is it right here. It's a really beautiful bronze. I don't know if you can, oh, there we go. The lighting is like so bright in here that it kind of dulls it down. But I love these bronzers. They look so good on the skin, and I've been really happy with them, and they give me like the much needed dimension I want in a bronzer. And I don't know, I'm pretty happy with those guys. Now I'm going to share with you one last palette, and this is a bronzing palette, and this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Powder Kit. And this is in the shades medium to tan. And the reason why I love this so much is because I feel like it's got a little bit of everything in here. If you're someone who is new to makeup and you just kind of want something that is going to encompass everything you need to bronze and like highlight your face, I definitely feel like this is a really great option. They were having these palettes for $20, and I bought a second one because my first one was like almost done, and then I bought one in every color for my freelance kit. So that's how much I love this palette. It's such a great thing to have in your collection, especially if you're like a makeup artist and things like that. It's really great. So the thing I love about this is the ease of it. I feel like it's a one-stop shop. You can travel with it. It's just very friendly. It's very user-friendly, I want to say. And it's also very versatile. So I love the bronzing shades in here. They have one that's a little bit more cool, that's a little bit more fair. I love this for contouring my nose because it's a little bit more subtle, and I feel like it's easier, not as harsh. And they have this really beautiful deep brown, like glowy kind of shade, which is really nice. All straight matte, no shimmer at all. This one is a little bit more warm, whereas this one is a little bit more cool. And then you have your under eye setting powders to brighten and like set underneath that eye area. And then this is your shimmering highlight. So I do feel like this is great if you're someone who just started, because it's literally everything you need in one palette, and you can literally throw this in your travel bag and you have everything. You don't have to worry about grabbing several products and being like in a rut of what to take. So I definitely feel like this is great. The formulation on it is very easy, very blendable, very smooth. It's just really nice. It doesn't like tug at the skin. I just feel like it lays really nicely on top of foundation. I will swatch these for you too so you can have like an idea, because I already started with the rest of them. So this is like the highlighting shade. Very fair, but good for highlighting underneath your eyes especially. This is the lighter shade of the two bronzing shades. This is the deeper. I love to mix the two as well. So that's it there. This is another highlighting shade. Also good for underneath the eyes. This one's a little bit more peachy, whereas the other one's a little bit more on the creamier side. And then you have this shade right here, which is also a nice highlighting shade, more of an orange tone to it, also very nice. And then your highlighting shade, which is really pretty as well. Pretty pigmented too. So there you have it. That's pretty much the whole palette swatch on my hand. I hope you guys can see because the lights can kind of dull things down when you're swatching them. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to share with you a cream contour. And usually I feel like cream contouring is not like a step I love taking. Like I will do it here and there, like I have to be in the mood for it because I feel like it can be very time consuming, and sometimes I'm like, meh, I don't even notice like a huge difference even with the cream contour. So it's like something I don't tend to gravitate towards, but I've seen cream contour do like wonders for people and give them so many angles and so much dimension. They look like incredible with it, but just never something that worked well for me. So I have a lot of cream contouring things. Some palettes I absolutely love, and I have like the Smashbox cream contour sticks. Those are really awesome as well. But I feel like I kind of was like meh with it. And when I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, which is the one I currently have in my drawer, I'm like, it completely turns me off because I feel like though her products are bomb as hell, she really like needs to reformulate her cream contours because they're not creamy. They're very drying. I have to add an oil, and I just feel like it's just one more step, so it just deters me from even wanting to do it in the first place. But regardless, getting on a tangent, the one from Fenty Beauty has really been the bomb. This is the matchstick in the color Mocha, and I think that this is the most beautiful cream contour stick for bronze. Like look at how perfect that is. I love the color. It's so nice. It's got like a cool warmth to it. It's got a combination of the two, but it blends out so nicely. It looks so natural on the skin, and it feels like very powdery. Like I was really skeptical about it because sometimes I feel like those sticks can be very drying, but this one was really good, and I've just been loving it. And I did just get it not too long ago, like 3 months ago or 2 months ago, I want to say. But I just have been cream contouring way more frequently than I have in the past. And because the product's so easy to use, I gravitate towards it because I'm like, ooh, let's just throw it on. It's a nice little additive to this makeup look. So really been loving this. I think it's great. I was a little skeptical at first because there was like mixed reviews about it, but I did like this one a lot. Now continuing with cheek products, I'm going to share with you some blushes. Now, if you watch my channel, you know I absolutely love blush and highlight. Like I love pretty much all cheek products. I think those have been like my jam for the last couple years. So this year, I feel like I haven't really bought too many blushes, which is surprising. I feel like more so than anything, I've just been buying highlighters out the ass. Like I feel like highlighters, like a new one comes out, I'm like, mine. So with cheek products, I don't really have anything like super exciting, but they're things that worked really well for me this year and things that I actually loved. And they're really pigmented and just worked really great on my skin. The first of which is from Benefit. This is recently launched this year. This is the California blush, and really beautiful coral shade, and it had like a nice gold overlay. And I worked through all the overlay and I still really like it. And it looks like very vibrant, but I loved it on the skin. So pretty. I love the flush. It kind of has a dewiness to it when I apply it on, but such a beautiful blush. I love that it's a little bit out of the box. It's not your typical muted blush. And sometimes I feel like it's nice to like up the amp, especially if you had like a really neutral look on the eyes. I feel like a nice coral pink blush really will up the amp and make you look beautiful and make your cheeks like a little bit more vivid and vivacious. So I love this. I think this is just a great formulation. I like their box blushes, but some of the colors just don't work well for my skin tone. But this one was a really good one. I love it so much. It looked really nice every time I've used it. Moving on from that, I'm going to share with you one that is really great. This is also a very affordable product, which is always a good thing. And it is the Milani Powder Blush. This is in the color 01 Romantic Rose, and they do have other colors available, so if you're not down with the like muted mauve tones, like they definitely have other ones available for you that are a little bit more vibrant. I have all of them because I just love the way that this one was when I used it the first time, that I felt like I need to have them all. And this blush is super pigmented. I love the way it looks on the skin, and for the price point, you really cannot beat it. I just love how nice it is. It lasts all day long. I feel like this is very comparable to some very high-end blushes, and the stay power is really good, and I was super impressed. Like, sometimes you pay like $30 and $40 for a blush and you're like, meh. And then this one was like, I think 10, and it just did wonders for me. So I definitely think that this is a great one to have, especially if you're someone who doesn't have like a ton of money to spend on blushes and makeup products. Like, that's a really great steal to have. Now for my most used blushes of the year, and this one is a blush palette, and I know it's not available anymore, and it sucks because I felt like it's something that should be permanent, but you can buy them individual, and it is the Becca. This is the Blush with Lights Blush Trio palette, and this was my most used palette, I think, as far as blushes at least, probably in general for this year, to be honest, because every trip that I went on, this is the blush palette that went with me, and I was just using it so much. I was gravitating towards it, and I had it in my makeup drawer for months, and then I had to literally just like take it out. I'm like, take it out, put it in the drawer so I can just give it a break. But this is really beautiful. I love the 3 shades. They're great on their own. They're great mixed together. I just think that they did such a great job with the formulation of the blushes. They're so pigmented. They're so easy to use. They don't go on too harsh. They just blend out so nicely, and I just love them. My favorite probably is Songbird, which is the middle one, which looks very brown in the pan, but when you swatch it, it has pink undertones. So I'm going to swatch them all from you. So first is the color Snapdragon, which is like your more pinky shade, like a pink coral shade. It's also got like these flecks of shimmer in it. Very hard to see, but it does add a luminosity to the skin. So that is Snapdragon right there. The next one is Songbird, which is my fave, which looks, like I said, very brown, but when I apply it, you can see that it has like some pinky undertones to it. So that one throws you for a loop. It's like a tricky one. And then the last one is Wisteria, which is just a very muted like rose color. So that's it right there at the end. So all of them are really nice shades. I love this. I love this so much. I thought this was such a great steal, and I bought it on clearance, so you already know it was doing things for me. It was giving me life, honey, life. But I've always been a huge fan of Becca. Like, I think that her products are just always quality. So that one's a good one, guys. Get that one. Whichever one you like. Just get it because it is bomb. Now I'm going to share with you some highlights. Now, highlights, girl, highlights. I love them so much. Like, I just love them. When a new highlight comes out and it's getting good reviews, and like the comments and reviews on them and Sephora and Ulta are like good, I'm like, because I'm excited. I love highlights. They make my world go round. So there's definitely some that were just so great this year that launched, and I want to share them with you. So the first of which I'm going to share is from Becca. This is the Becca Prosecco Pop, which Jaclyn Hill originally launched. And originally she put out her highlighting palette that came with like some blushes, and yeah, cool. And she's like, okay, Prosecco Pop is never gonna come out ever again. This is just a very limited edition for this palette. And I remember that quickly after they launched the splits, and I bought another one that had Prosecco Pop in it because it was just such a beautiful tone, and it worked so well for my skin tone. And then I saw that they launched the full-size one, and I was like, what the hell? Like, she literally said on camera like 6 months ago that this was not going to be something that's permanent, and then they made it permanent. So I was a little annoyed because I felt like people like went out and bought extras like myself, or things they didn't really need, when they could have just bought the full-size one. But whatever, I'm not like too mad about it because I do love the product, so whatever. But this is such a gorgeous highlight. It's like a nice champagne fused with gold, but it's a little bit more on the champagne side. A nice mixture of the two, and I think it's something that will work really well for those who are medium to deeper in skin tone. And she had champagne pop, which is absolutely beautiful, but I don't think it did well with those who are a little bit deeper in complexion. I felt like it looked kind of chalky on them, whereas this one just gives you that gorgeous, beautiful champagne mixed with gold glow. Like, it is stunning. And I got this because I was really excited when it came out full size, and then I think like a month or two later BoxyCharm sent it to us. I was like, bitch, like, I just bought this. I was a little annoyed, but I was like, whatever. I was happy about it because I do love this product so much. I think it's beautiful. And then the next one I'm going to share with you is one from Dior, and I know it's very luxury, but I'm sorry, it's bomb. You get what you pay for sometimes, most times. But I definitely feel like this is a product that I absolutely love. I think it's beautiful on the cheeks. And this is the Dior Skin Nude Air Illuminizer in 001. And I know at one point this was a limited edition, and then they came out with several different products in the same line with different colors, and they are permanent. And this one is really beautiful. When I first saw it, I didn't think that it was going to work well for my skin tone because it does look a little bit icy for me. And though it does have some like champagne-y undertones, it also has a lot of rosy undertones, a little bit more of a pink undertone to it. So I didn't know if it was going to work, and it's very fair. But girl, I swatched it on my skin and it worked, honey. Like, it worked. And I love it so much. Like, look at how gorgeous that is. It is stunning. It's actually what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. I love it so much. Like, I can always count on Dior to give me a bomb ass highlight. Like, it looks so good. I love it so much. So this is definitely like a really great one to have. It's definitely a very pricey product. I think this ranges for like $55 or so, and you don't need to have it. But if you're someone who's willing to splurge, you got some money for Christmas, you got some gift cards, you want something luxury, like, yes, won't do you wrong, and you will be lit for the gods. Like, lit. And a little goes a long way. So I definitely feel like it's something that, you know, your money will not run away with. So just keep that in mind. It'll make it a little bit easier to make that purchase. So the next product is something that came out like quite some time ago, and it was a cult favorite. It was very highly talked about, but it was a limited edition, which sucks because all the amazing things are limited edition. But then I saw that they launched it again this year, and it was at Macy's, and I'm pretty sure it's still available, you guys. And it is the Estee Lauder Heat Wave Highlight. Now this highlight, so beautiful. And when I originally saw it, I was looking at Macy's, and they were showing like the new items that came out, and I saw this and I didn't even look at the name, and I was like, oh, it's so beautiful, let me just get it. So I got it, and lo and behold, when I looked at the color, it was Heat Wave, which I already had, but I was not going to return it because it was something that was limited edition, very hard to get your hands on, and I loved it. And this is such a beautiful highlight, you guys. This is definitely something that is going to grab everyone's attention. It's definitely going to be beaming on the cheeks. You will definitely cause a scene wherever you go with this highlight because it is just way lit. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just got the most beautiful reflex in it, and it just reflects so beautifully on the skin without even being too much. But it's definitely like there, like, you know it's there. So I love it so much. It's definitely one of those highlights that it makes a statement on the cheeks, and it is absolutely stunning. And though it's like it's like a gold champagne, but it's a nice mix between the two because it's not too gold, but it's not too light. It's just that beautiful mixture. So I feel like it can work for so many different skin tones, to light, to medium, to dark. So love that, guy. It's such a great product. I hope it's still available for you guys because I loved it so much. So much that I bought it twice. So moving on from that, I'm going to share with you an affordable one. So this is from Maybelline. This is the Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlighter in Molten Gold. And this highlight is so beautiful. When I saw it at Walmart, I think they had an open one. It was at Ulta, actually. It was so beautiful, but it was always sold out. And I finally was able to get my hands on it, and I was so impressed with it, you guys. This is an affordable highlight, but it feels very luxurious. It goes on the skin very luxurious, and it is just absolutely beaming. So this is definitely like more gold tone, but I think it can still work because it's not too gold for many different skin tones. And with one swatch, you can see how beautiful that is. Like, come on, you guys. Like, for $10 or $7, you literally cannot beat that. And it goes on the skin so well. And I feel like with more affordable highlights, it's a little bit hard to find something that's quality because they're very glittery. And if they're not glittery, they just flake off the skin really easily and they just don't stay in place. And they don't give me that highlight look I want. Like, when I'm highlighted, I want everybody to know I'm highlighted. Like, I want to be just super, super, super lit. Like, I'm extra that way. So whenever I wear highlight, I want everyone to know it's there. So I definitely love this because it definitely makes a statement. It's really nice and it's also very affordable. So for those people who can afford the more high-end highlights, this is definitely a great one to have. And it is just such great quality. And one time, girl, let me just let you know that I sprayed a little Fix Plus because I was feeling very fancy that day. And when I applied it to the cheeks, I just was like, no. And when I thought it couldn't get any better, it just did revolutionary things for my cheekbones. And I was going to work, so I was looking so lit for the gods for my patients, and they just weren't ready. And I got a lot of compliments that day. The girls at work were like, girl, what's on your cheeks? And I was like, this is Maybelline. They're like, no. I'm like, yes. So definitely is such a great product and I love it so much, and it's so affordable, which is the greatest thing of anything. So moving on from that, I am done with my bronzers and my highlights and my cheek products. Those are probably my favorite products I'm going to share with you because they're for me the most fun to buy. But there were some other really cool products that I have, but they're just not as exciting, I think, as the cheek products. So I'm going to share with you some primers. And when it came to primers this year, I really feel like they were just kind of basic. Like, there's nothing really too exciting with priming. I just feel like it's just a step to get to the next step, you know? Nothing spectacular. And for me, one that I revamped in my collection was this one from MAC. This is the MAC Cream Mattifying Primer. And I will say that I don't know if it really has that mattifying aspect of it because I don't really notice that my face is extra matte when I apply it, but I love how smooth it makes my face. It makes it such a nice canvas. And I love it because it's like that silicone kind of like primer, and when I use those kinds of primers, I feel like it just smooths the skin over really nicely. It makes for a nice canvas for your foundation, and when you have a really nice primer, it just makes your foundation look that much more seamless. So I love the way that this looked on the skin. It didn't ball up, it just applied really nicely, and it was also kind of hydrating at the same time without being over the top, like without looking greasy. So I absolutely love this. This has been my favorite kind of in this like silicone type of feeling kind of primer, and I literally have been using it so much, and it's my go-to as of now. I love it a lot. Moving on from that, I'm going to share with you a newer one, and this one is different, and it is the Fenty Beauty one, and this is the Soft Matte Pro Filter Primer. And I will say that when I originally tried it, like when I tried it on the back of my hand in Sephora, I was like, this doesn't really feel mattifying to me. This feels more hydrating than anything. So it starts off very wet and it feels very hydrating, like almost like a lotion when you apply it on your face. But then it dries down and it's not really matte. It just feels hydrated. Like, I feel like my skin feels ready. It feels ready for foundation and it feels like nice and smooth. But I don't really get that mattifying kind of claim that it has to it. I just feel like it's just very moisturizing and very like hydrating on the skin, which I feel like I need because sometimes I'm just super dehydrated. So I love this because it felt really nice, felt really easy. It just went on so smoothly. And though it felt wet at first, it dried really nicely. So I love the way it felt after it dried. Initially, I was like, I feel wet, like strange, but then I loved it. So I had this for not that long and I've already like used this much of it. So it's a pretty cool primer. I mean, I like it because it makes my skin feel really nice and ready for foundation, and when I lay the foundation on top, it just looks really good. So that's something I really loved about that primer, even though it's fairly new. Now moving on to foundations, and foundations are like, they are one of my favorite things because I feel like your foundation will make or break your look, because if your skin doesn't look like nice and flawless for the most part, like, I just feel like you might as well not even wear foundation. And sometimes like people will have like beautiful eye makeup, but then you look down at their foundation, it's like, it's a disaster. So I feel like it can either make or break your look. So to have the right one is really important. And my skin type is like combination to oily skin type. I feel like, you know, I get the typical in your T-zone oily, and other places in my face is like normal. So I feel like there was one point where I wanted just a straight matte flat look to my face, and I powdered and did everything, and then I kind of like phased out of that, and I like more of like a combination foundation now, something that's going to give me like not too overly dewy but not too overly mattifying, because I love the dewiness to my skin. I love that healthy glowy look, that J-Lo look, you know, everybody's dying to have, like me included. So like I feel like my choices in foundations have been different. And this year I found the most incredible foundation of life, thanks to Jaclyn Hill. And sorry you guys, another prestige Dior product, but it is the Forever foundation. I am in the color 041, which I think is ochre. And you guys, like, I know this is expensive, and I don't think that you need to spend a lot of money to look beautiful and to have nice makeup, but I love this product. It is so beautiful on the skin. I don't think there's a foundation that is more beautiful than this when it is applied to the skin. And I don't care if you have like dry skin or medium skin that's like kind of oily, or like really oily skin. I feel like it just can work for so many different skin tones, because I think Jaclyn has dry skin, I have combination skin, and I know people have used this who have oily skin, and everybody loves it. So this just sits so beautifully on the skin. It looks skin-like, which is what I love about it, but it also gives you that full coverage. And when I tell you it stays, it stays. And with time, it just looks more and more beautiful. It looks more and more natural. It just fuses with the natural oils in your skin, and it just looks so gorgeous. I wore this to a country music concert on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, so you know Florida's hot as hell. And I wore this from, I think it was like 8 all the way to like past midnight, because we were there all day long, and it looked absolutely beautiful. Like when I went to go take my makeup off, I was like, why? Like, why do I have to take it off? Because it just looks so good still. So definitely have been absolutely in love with this foundation. I just was so happy that she mentioned it, because I would have never given it the time of day, because it is expensive, and though I like prestige things, I can't always afford them, you know. Let's be real. Gotta work an extra shift for this baby right here. Just kidding. But I just felt like it's a splurge product, and I loved it, and I'm happy I got it, because it's definitely something that I think is worth my money, and I will definitely be repurchasing when this finishes. It just looks so good. So moving on from that, I'm going to share with you another one that I love foundation, and that is the Naked Skin by Urban Decay. This one is so nice. I love this. This is such a great match for my skin tone. In the bottle, it looks kind of dark, but it really matches well with me. I'm in the color 8. And the thing I love about this foundation is it is so like mind-blowing how much coverage you get with this foundation, but for how thin and lightweight it is on the skin. So it's very skin-like, but it gives you really great coverage. And I love the way it looks. It's really great because it doesn't make me overly matte, but it doesn't make me overly oily. It's like the perfect match for me. Like, it's just like, looks great. And I love the way it looks. It settles nicely into the skin. It doesn't make me look wrinkly or emphasize any fine lines or anything like that. So I love this. And I mean, I've been shaking it up as I've been talking to you, but literally once it all settles, it is like down to here, because I use it so much. I think it's just a really great day-to-day foundation. It looks very natural, very skin-like, but if you have problem areas, it will cover them up without looking too cakey. So I love that about this. I love how it feels, because I feel like my skin can still breathe while wearing it, which is really important, because there's some really great foundations, but when you put it on, you feel it like just like suction onto your skin, and you feel like, oh my god, my skin can't breathe. But this one feels really comfortable, so I love that about it. Now I'm gonna share with you 2 more foundations. And at first I was like, I don't really have any foundations I really like. And what I'm going to share with you is a repeat from last year, and it is the Cover FX foundation. This is the Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation in the color N70. And I'm sorry that I included something that I had last year, but I don't care, because it is just that amazing. This foundation also, I think I found from Jaclyn Hill. This one's almost done. And when I tell you, before I got the Dior, this was my most used foundation. I took it everywhere with me. I loved it so much. It's so beautiful on the skin. It looks so nice, and it's like, it's a heavier foundation. It's a little bit thicker, but it looks so nicely. And when you blend it out, especially if you use a beauty blender, it just looks so seamless. I love the way it is. It's so skin-like when you blend it out, and I just love it. I just thought that for a thicker foundation, it looks so natural, and it just sits on my skin so nicely, and it's a little bit more mattifying than like the other two that I mentioned. It's a little bit more matte because it's like oil free, but it looks nice. Like when it fuses with your oils, it just gives you that really nice glow to the skin, and I love it so much. That's why I want to include it again, because it really is a great foundation. And a little goes a long way because of the coverage is so good. And I also feel like they give you a pretty decent amount of product. It's 1 fluid ounce, but it's not 1 fluid ounce that's in a bottle that you won't get to use some of it. You can literally like just push it all down to the bottom because it's a squeeze tube. Now moving on from that, I'm going to share with you one that's a little bit newer, and it is the Too Faced Perfect Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation infused with fig, sweet cream, I can't read right now. I'm delirious. It's literally 1:46 in the morning. I never stay up this late. But it's Comfort Matte Foundation infused with peach and sweet fig cream. And this is so nice. At first when I got it, I was like, meh, on the fence about it, because when I wore it, I felt like it was very mattifying. Like it went on kind of dewy, and then like I set it and it was matte, and then I felt like it was just like super matte. But then like I used it a couple more times and I did grow to like it a lot. I love it. This color is the color Honey. And I will say that they don't have the perfect match for my skin tone, because I do have a little bit more of a yellow undertone to my skin, and I feel like this one's a little bit gray, but it doesn't look bad, if that makes sense. Like I don't look dead with it, but it does have a little bit of a gray undertone, and I love this one. It's really nice. It looks so beautiful. I like it because it's very thin and it looks nice. It has really great coverage. I was very surprised, and it's kind of reminds me of the Naked Skin from Urban Decay, because it's very lightweight on the skin, but the coverage stays so nicely and it stays all day long. So I love that about it, and it does keep my oil at bay, I must say, but without being like in a weird way where I'm like overly matte. So I like that about it. And one last one, I had to throw this one in here because I do love it. I love this foundation stick. This is the Makeup Forever HG Ultra HD stick, and I'm in the color Y445, which is a tad light, but the next color over was just way too dark. And this foundation stick is amazing. I will say that this is a little bit more on the dewier side for me, but I love it so much, you guys. Whenever I wear it, I just think that with a few swipes to the skin, it gives you incredible coverage, and I love the way it sets on my skin. Like, and if I set it with a powder in my T-zone, I feel like it gives me the perfect combination to like my foundation that I want and that I look for. But I wore this in Vegas every single day. I didn't pack any other foundation because I loved it so much, and I just think it's such a great product. I know this was talked about a lot when it first came out initially. I think it was last year, but it is a great product, and it's definitely worth all the hype. I know that sometimes it could be a little sketchy here on YouTube because people be paid, girl, but not me. Not paid, I'm just a little guy. But this is a really nice one. I love this so much. I think it's great. Okay, now moving on from foundations, I'm going to share with you concealers. And concealers were also a very tough one, and I didn't really have any new concealer that I loved. So I'm just going to share with you my oldies but goodies. And of course it is the Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm in the color Tan. They did come out with more colors, and I did just buy a new one that's a little bit better for my skin tone. But this one's really nice. I love this. It's great. It doesn't crease on me. It's beautiful. I just love it. I can't go wrong with this one. I definitely feel like a little goes a long way, so you don't need too much. And I love the formulation. Like, everybody rants and raves about it because it is a really phenomenal product, and I absolutely love it. The next one, not everybody talks about as much, but I still love it. It's really great. It is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. This also, like the Shape Tape, is really nice. I don't feel like you get as much coverage with this one as you do the Shape Tape. I feel like the Shape Tape will like hide your sins, whereas this one is a little bit more forgiving. It doesn't hide as much, but it's still got really great coverage. I love this one. It's really nice, very lightweight like it says. I love the way it feels. It's not as heavy as the Shape Tape, but you're also not getting as much of the coverage, but it is beautiful on the skin, and it doesn't crease on me, which is really nice because literally everything creases underneath my eyes. Literally everything. So I love that those two work the best for me, and I can always depend on them for a nice brightened under eye area. Moving on from that, I want to share with you setting powders. Now, there are two setting powders. Sorry for that reach. It was a little bit weird in the camera, but whatever. There are two setting powders that I absolutely love this year. The first of which is my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I bought just a new one because my last one finished, and this is the bomb. Like, everybody talks about this one because it is amazing. I know it's like kind of hit or miss with people. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I love it personally. For me, I feel like it's really hard to find a really great under eye brightening powder that is not too chalky, and especially with flash photography, you don't want one that's gonna like white you out. So I definitely feel like she did a really great job with this because it sets really nicely underneath my eyes, and it always looks beautiful. Like, always looks beautiful, and I love it so much that I use it all, and I feel like you get so much product in here that really just goes to show how amazing it is. And after I finished that, I was kind of in the market trying to dabble with other ones, and I did get a sample of the Derm Blend one, and I was so curious about it because Patrick Star uses it, and I love Patrick Star, and I know that girl knows his powders, so I wanted to try it out. And when I got the sample, I was really happy with it. So I did buy the full-size one, and it is the Derm Blend Loose Setting Powder. This is just the original color, and I think that Ulta was having a special on it, and it was half price, so I was like, yes. And I bought two of them because it's so amazing. So I am loaded on powders. These two are my jams. I love them. They don't give me that flashback. They don't look ashy underneath my eyes or chalky, which is really important because with my skin tone, it's very easy. So I just love these two. They set so nicely, and they help me to not be a creasy hot mess. Now for normal powders, these two are really great. I love them so much. The first of which, they're both by Bare Minerals, but the first of which is the color medium. This is the Invisible Glow Powder. This is absolutely beautiful, you guys. I love this so much for setting underneath my under eye area. I will say that this is very comparable to the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders. I think they're very similar in formulation, and to the Laura Mercier one too. I think those three are just kind of in a category of their own because they kind of all feel the same to me on the skin. And this one is really pretty. I love the way it looks. It's got shimmer in it, but it doesn't look over the top. And when I put it underneath my under eye area, it really does do the trick and brighten under there. And it looks so nice. My friend's brother works for Bare Minerals, and he hooked it up with this, and I'm super impressed with it. I was like, thank you so much. Like, you don't know what you just did for me right now with this powder because it is bomb. Like, look at how nice that like sheen is, but it doesn't look like super shiny underneath the eye. So I really like it. This is in the color medium. And to set all over the face, this is the color Tan, which is a little deeper than my skin tone, as you can see, but when I apply it to my skin, it doesn't look dark at all. It is so nice. I love these powders for how smooth they are. They're so silky. And I think this is actually supposed to be a bronzer, but you can see right here that it kind of just fuses in with my skin. So I love it because it works as a setting powder for me without feeling heavy. I feel like sometimes I apply powders on top of my foundation and it just feels very heavy on the skin. So I don't get that with that. So it's really nice. So I love those two so much. And of course, I'm going to throw it in there even though I did speak about it. My Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette, you guys. This is life. This is my, I have to have this all the time. I love it so much. This is such a great palette. I just know it's expensive. It's $80 for this. I know. Just take a deep breath. It's $80. I know. It's expensive, you guys. I know. You could buy them individually. You don't have to buy the whole trio. I think it's still expensive, but still. I love the shade Dim Light. This is my favorite under eye setting powder because though I set it with a loose powder, I dust off the excess loose powder with the Dim Light and like bam, it just really brightens that area. I love the one from Bare Minerals too. It's a very close runner-up. Like they're almost neck and neck, but this is still my number one. Like I definitely have made such a dip in this pan. I love it so much. And this I can use to set all over my face. It gives me a really beautiful dewy glow, like because it's got these iridescent flakes and flecks of shimmer, and it just looks so gorgeous on the skin. I just feel like you just glow with this palette. And then this is like a really nice highlighting shade as well. It's a little fair, so I can't use it to highlight my skin, but I will mix these two on occasion depending on how extra I want to be underneath the eyes, and they just work really well for me. So this palette is one of my most suggested products I'm going to mention today, because I definitely think it's worth every single penny. So good, so good. Okay, moving on from that, I kind of missed these earlier, but whatever. I want to share with you some like liquid highlighting things that I like to use on my face. The first of which is from Cover FX. This is the Custom Enhancer Drops. These were huge back in the day. They're still really amazing. I love them so much. I think they've expanded the line and have added more, but I like the color Candlelight because it is a nice bronzy shade. This is not something I use really to highlight per se. I like to use this to mix with my foundations, especially when they're a little bit too light. I like to use it as a base because it gives me a really nice glow with my foundation, with giving that warmth of the bronzy shade. So that is it right there. So I like to use this kind of like as a second primer and just use it together with my foundation to get the perfect nice combo, and it gives me that needed glow that I always love to have. So loving that. Also very light on the skin, love the formulation of that. And then next is from the Estee Lauder Edit Collection. Now, I don't know. I know they were selling this in Sephora, but then I just saw it disappeared and then it was on clearance. And I got this at my cosmetic company outlet, so I hope it's still available because I'm mentioning it to you guys. But this is the Beam Team Bronze Hydrating Glow highlighter. And I love this because I don't use it to highlight. I use it just like I use the other one, to kind of as a base and mix it with my foundation. This one is, like it says, so hydrating. It's got a luminosity to it, but it's just so nice. Like, it's not over the top. It just gives you a really subtle glow. Like, it's not as much as the Cover FX one. It's a little bit more muted, but it is very hydrating. I kind of use it as a primer. I won't use a primer, and sometimes I will just use this all over the face because it just makes me feel hydrated as well as giving me the glow. And when I put my foundation on top, it just looks really, really nice. So this was something I got for so cheap, because it was cheap because it's already at my cosmetic company outlet, and then they had it 50% off. I was like, it might as well be given away for free, girl. Like, it just was so cheap. And in the cap comes this little highlighter that I never really use because it's so small, but it's right. Looks like that, very bronze, similar to the other one. So I really like this. This is really nice for priming my skin and for adding that nice color to it with the added glow. You already know. Added glow, you have me added glow, girl. Okay, now for the last couple things on my channel. It's still a lot, but usually I like to do like it in segments, but this year I feel like I didn't have as many products. I still feel like I had a lot. Sorry, guys. This is a long one. It's a long one, but I hope you're still with me. I hope you're still watching. So now I'm going to share with you some eyeliners. And I feel like, I don't know, like I'm pretty status quo with eyeliners. I don't really have too many like interesting products as far as eyeliners. They're just some products that I liked. And the first of which is from Milani. This is the Stay Put Waterproof Eyeliner. I don't know about the waterproof claim because I never swim with makeup or like wear it to the gym or anywhere that has water. So I don't know about that part of it, but I do love this. I bought this because I forgot my eyeliner and I was going to a wedding, so I had to stop at like a CVS, and I loved how black it was. It's very pigmented and it's blended out so nicely. I just loved how creamy it felt. So it is a very creamy eyeliner. I don't know if it will work well for people who have like eyes that really are smudgy, like they get eyeliner that runs, but for me it didn't. And I just love that it was so super creamy and it's so black. So it was really affordable. I love the creaminess. It just literally glided into my waterline and just was black, and it stayed put for a really long time. So that's a really great drugstore option. The next of which is from NARS. This is the Nude liner in, it is called Rue Bonaparte, and I love this because I felt like not every day did I want to have black in my waterline. I like to have a nice nude, and it is a nude that is not too, it's not white, it's nude. So it doesn't like look too stark in my waterline, because sometimes the whites just look a little bit too much for me. It just doesn't, it clashes with my complexion. So I felt like the Rue Bonaparte was really beautiful, looked really nice, and it definitely like took the edginess off of some looks that can look a little bit harsh in the waterline. Shall I say more? My Little Rock Front Pro Line liquid liner. I use this every single day in every single tutorial for like years and years and years. It's the best liquid liner of all time, like of all time. And it's not like super unaffordable, and Ulta does have specials on it every couple months. So get you some, girl, get you some, because it's so good. Now, as for luxury, something that is different, I never use it on my channel because it is astronomical. Even at the cosmetic company store, which is where I bought it, it was expensive. I was like, bitch, like why? Why did you have to like this? So this is the Tom Ford, my only Tom Ford item, eye defining pen. I love this because it is such a great product. Like, you guys, like, it's expensive, and I'm not saying you need to have it. You don't. There's definitely cheaper products out there, but I just loved it. For me, it's something that I love. I love eyeliner. Wing liner is everything. Like, I just feel like naked without a wing liner, and I'm very stuck with my Lorac one. It is beautiful. I love the way it works. It's really black. It covers everything. But when I swatched this in the store, it was so black, and it stayed on my hand all freaking day. So I was like, I have to get it. It was so good. So it comes with that nice like brush tip that I like. And I don't like felt tip because I feel like they fray away very quickly, and then you don't get your money's worth, because sometimes the product will still be so like, it'll just still be there. Like, it'll still be super amount of product, but then you can't use the tip because it's just frayed all the way. So I hate that, and I don't ever buy them because of that. I just feel like you waste rather than use the product. And this was really cool because it had the brush bristles, so I feel like those last forever and ever and ever, and you literally will use it till you have no more product left. And then the cool thing about this is that on the other side, it has a more precise for precision. So I love that. I think it's so nice. So you can get your fine detail and your normal just very precise wing liner. So I was like, awesome, because sometimes like you want like that precision, especially in the inner tear duct, even though I never do it. You know, you can get that really nice precise, like kind of like, I don't know what they call it, but it's really cute when they do it. But I love this. It's really, really nice. I don't use as much as I would like because it is like 50 bucks. It's so expensive, but it's so good. You guys, it's so good. I love it. Moving on from that, I'm going to share with you some mascaras. Now, you know, if you watch my channel, that I am not into false lashes. This year, I'm going to make an effort to wear them every, I don't know, maybe once every 6 months. Maybe. Probably not. But I love mascara because I feel like for me, because I don't wear lashes, I feel like I need a really good mascara. So there's 4 that I have been loving, and they're really great. And the first of which is my most favorite, most used, I think, this year, and is the Tartiste one. And I just love the way that this coats my lashes. It gives them lots of volume. It covers them with a lot of product because I like my eyelashes to be very full and very coated with mascara. And I definitely feel like this does it. It's got like a really like bristly wand that is like very firm bristles and not so much a brush. And I feel like that helps it to coat the lashes really nicely. BoxyCharm hooked it up because I only had a sample size and I was going to eventually buy the full size, but it came in my BoxyCharm box in December, and I was like, BoxyCharm, you already know, girl. Like, they just do things for me. I love BoxyCharm. I definitely suggest that too. Definitely a must-have. Like, I love my BoxyCharm box. It's awesome. So I've been loving that Tartiste one. The next one I love is the Benefit Rollerball Lash Mascara. Also really nice, has that really bristly brush kind of has a curve to it. I love the formulation of this mascara. This is one of my favorites to pair because I feel like it just brings it to another level when you add it to like another amazing mascara. They just fuse together and make bomb ass lashes. So love that. The next two I'm going to share with you are kind of like dupes for one another. This is the more affordable one and this one is the cheaper one. I love them both. And the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara is amazing. It's phenomenal. This is more of a brush type wand. It is one that is going to comb through your lashes. The bristles more like coat individual, whereas I think the brushes kind of just layers the product on. So it just combs on the product really nicely and it gives you excess product. If that makes sense, I just feel like it really coats the lashes really nicely. It gives you a lot of product on there. So I like that, but it's not clumpy. It just is a nice formulation. And I love the brush because I feel like it kind of just combs them out at the same time and makes them flare out really nicely. And the bristle does that too, but I feel like with the brush, it's a little less like this, and it's more like, if that makes sense. Like it's not like a comb. It's actually like brushed, like nice and coiffed lashes. I don't know. I don't know how to make sense of it, but it's different, but they're both really awesome. In the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, such a great dupe, you guys. The wand is so similar. I included them in my favorites video last month and I just said how amazing this was. And if you cannot afford the Too Faced Better Than Sex one, this one is equally as good. It is so good. I wish that this came out a lot sooner because I would have saved money and not bought that full-size one. So definitely a great dupe. It's a really nice product. The formulation also very good. Haven't had a problem and it coats my lashes so beautifully. I think it's all in the brush really more than anything. So love those mascaras. They've been doing wonders for me, especially for my little bitty lashes it's been getting its nice fair share of coating this year. Now for brow products. Now brow products are kind of like status quo for me too. Like I feel like there's not too many brow products that I like use. I use like the same couple products over and over again, but I did try out two new things this year, or actually a couple of new things, but these two are the ones that spoke to me the most. And the first is the Benefit Brow, and I love this because this is really nice. It's in the color 4 and I think that this is a really nice pomade. I love the Anastasia ones, but I feel like this one's a little bit creamier and it's not as dark. Like I wear the color chocolate. I wear the color chocolate and that's like my perfect match, but I feel like it's still like a tad dark. A tad, not overly dark. It looked good still, I love it. But this one I feel like it just matches my complexion a little bit better and it looks not as much on the brows. Like this is my more toned down brow, whereas my Anastasia one is for like my more glamorous, like my brows are here brow. So I definitely really like this. It's really great. I think the formulation is really nice and creamy and smooth, which is really important. Whereas I feel like the Anastasia one kind of dries out a little bit quicker, but I still love it. The next one is the Smashbox Brow Tech To Go. This has been such a great product. I love it so much, and it reminds me of the Anastasia Brow Definer because it's got that really nice angled kind of brow thing going on that I love. It gives you that nice precision and it makes doing your brows so easy because I feel like you can just shape them with the quickness and it's easy to fill it in because of the like shape of it. I love it so much. It's really good. And the nice thing about this, I think it's great for on the go, for traveling. It's very convenient because on the other end it has a brow gel. Like, come on, winner chicken dinner right here. Like, this is awesome. So I've been loving this. It's so convenient. I think this is great for travel, especially. It can do wonders for you in your travel bag. I'm all about convenience if you haven't realized. Now for lips. I love lips this year. I feel like recently I've just been getting into lipsticks and I'm really happy with it. I'm happy about it. So there have been two lipsticks that I've absolutely loved so very much, one of which I'm wearing right now. This is the Anastasia wow. This is the Kat Von D. This is the Studded Kiss lipstick in the color Lolita. And you guys, when I tell you that, you know, certain things happen for a certain reason, this is one of those things because I went to Dress Barn to get a gift card for my mother-in-law, and right next to it was a Marshalls or TJ Maxx actually, and I never go to that side of town. I just so happened to be there, and I was killing time waiting for something, and I went in TJ Maxx and I just started looking around, and they had these, you guys, for $6.99. You already know it was my lucky day when they had something for $6.99. It was such a good steal. So this is the Lolita lipstick, and they're going on clearance because I think she's repackaging, I think was what they said. But you guys, this formulation of lipstick is incredible. I've had this on since 11 o'clock and it is now 2 a.m. in the morning. So it's so creamy, it smells so good, it has really great staying power. It is like the perfect shade. I love it so much. I bought one for my sister because I thought it was just such a beautiful shade, and it was just so cheap, like why not? And I accidentally bought me a backup, so I was happy about that too, so it worked out that way. So I love this formulation of lipstick. I am so curious to find out about the other colors she has because I'm really impressed with this. I didn't know that Anastasia was, I mean, why do I keep saying Anastasia? I didn't know that Kat Von D was like killing it in like the lipstick game. Like I know her liquid lips are really good, but her lipstick, like girl. And Lolita, that's a cult favorite. Like that is the jam. We already know. I didn't even know she had a lipstick, but I never would have thought to try her lipsticks, and I'm so impressed. Like it is just such a comfortable lipstick, and it's matte, but it's creamy, and it just stays. Like it stays forever, which is really, really nice. Now on to my second favorite lipstick. Well, it's actually my first. This is the Bite Beauty lipstick in the color Pepper and Womp. It's almost at its last life. This lipstick is so pretty. I love the color. I love how creamy it is. It's literally the most hydrating lipstick. I love it because it's almost like a gloss but a lipstick, and it gives you such nice pigmentation. But I'm going to be honest and say that I love it. It's my most used lipstick. I absolutely adore it. I wear it with everything because I feel like it's just so universal. But it does not stay, you guys. Like, I don't know if it's because it's got that shiny, like, hydrating that just wipes right off, but it doesn't stay very well. I will be honest and say that. But the color is so freaking nice, and I love it. I love the way it feels. It feels very comforting on the lips, and I feel like my lips get dry very frequently because I don't drink enough water with work. So it just feels nice and hydrating on the lips. So I think that's why I love it so much. Not to mention the color is like absolutely beautiful. So those two lipsticks are my favorites, and I know they're very close in color, but I just love them so very much. They're so nice. Now on to my liquid lip, and this is new. It's the only liquid lip that I love as of now. I want to say, no, there's actually two liquid lips. It's my most, I don't know, like I feel like it's my most exciting product that I've had recently, and it is the Fenty Beauty Uncensored liquid lip, and it is just a show-stopping red. And if you watch my channel, I am so gung-ho and stuck on the Hourglass Icon liquid lip. I think it's like my favorite red of all time. I think it's so beautiful, but girl, I'm just gonna let you see. It goes on so wet originally, like when you initially put it on, but when it dries, look at that red. If that's not the most beautiful red you've ever seen in your life, like I really don't know what is. Like I feel like Rihanna's really killing it in the makeup industry. Like she really went hard, and it is so beautiful. I wore this on a couple different occasions, and it just stayed so well. I wore it on New Year's Eve, and it stayed, I ate and everything, it stayed perfectly in place. I fell asleep on my friend's couch, and I woke up and it was all still there, like perfect, from like I just put it on. So I really love that. It's a really nice red if you're into reds and you want to try something out of the box. She killed it. The next one is from Bare Minerals, and this is the liquid matte lip in the color Boss. This is the most comfortable liquid lipstick I've ever worn, and it's completely up my alley in color range because it's mauve and muted and very neutral, as you can see right there under the uncensored color. But it is so comfortable. I've never worn a liquid lipstick that is as comfortable as this. It's kind of like a moussey kind of texture, but when it goes on, it stays so well, but it's so comfortable. Like I don't feel like I'm wearing a liquid lipstick because they can be very drying and very like feels like your lips are suffocating. So I feel like they did a really great job on the formulation. So comfortable. So if you're someone who wants to try liquid lip, but you don't like the drying effect that they tend to give you, try out the Bare Mineral ones because they are incredible. Like those and Too Faced, most comfortable liquid lip I've ever placed on my lips, and I feel very comfortable with them, and it doesn't make me feel like super dry. Like I feel like if my lips are chapped and busted, like I could still wear them without them looking even more busted. Definitely a great product, and I love, love, love that one from Bare Minerals. Now on to lip glosses. And the lip glosses I love are the Buxom. This is the White Russian. This is one of my favorites for years now. It's a very pale pink, but it looks so pretty on the lips. I don't know if I'm blending it out now so you can kind of see, but it is like a My Lips but better kind of shade because it gives you that nice like pinky flush to the lips, and it makes them tingle because it's got like that plumping kind of thing going on. But I love it so much. I can always count on this if I just want a natural but neutral lip that looks like My Lips but better. Like this is what I go towards because I just love the way it finished on my lips. The next one is newer to me, but I love it so much. It's so pretty. It's the Becca, I just made her real ghetto. It is the Becca Liquid Crystal Lip Topper Glow Gloss, and I got it in the shade Rose Quartz times Seashell. And this is so pigmented and it's so creamy. I love the way this is. This is definitely something you have to mix with something because it is vibrant. But I loved it. I think it was so nice. I kind of wish I would have got the champagne shade, but I didn't capitalize on that. But you can see it right there. It's like a really nice luminous. It makes your lips just so like duochrome. I love it. It's kind of just like an artsy fartsy kind of lip gloss because it kind of adds like some nice dimension to the lips, but you pair that with something like this muted color right here, they look so beautiful together, and I just love it because it like ups up the amp on something that's a little bit more dull. And if you want to add a little bit more life to your lips, like this is definitely something really, really cool, and the formulation's nice and the stay power is pretty good too. Second to last, I'm going to share with you one from MAC. This is the Vamplity. This is the color Tuned In. So similar to everything else, muted mauve tone. I gravitate towards these color, but this has got to be the most pigmented lip gloss I've ever used. With one swipe, you can see that it's almost like a lipstick. It's got so much pigmentation, and I love the color. Like, I think MAC did such a great job with this line of lip glosses because look right there. Like, that is a gloss, and it looks insane. Like, that's a liquid lip right next to it, and they look so comparable because of the pigmentation. So I love the pigmentation on those. I think they did a really, really good job. And MAC's been pretty good with like the affordability. I felt like at one point MAC was like a little cray-cray, but they're being a little bit more on the affordable side now. So I would definitely try out that color, especially if you're someone who likes the comfort of a lip gloss and you want like some nice pigment behind it too. That one's a really good one. And I love the color of that color right there. Bomb.com. Okay, now for the last lip gloss I'm going to share with you. This one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is in the color Dainty. And this is not something that I can wear on my own, but I love it to mix with other colors. And it is just a really beautiful light pink. Aren't you guys proud of me? It's something out of my norms, but I love to mix this on my own. I don't know if this will look really good, but I love to make like an ombre type lip with this. Or if I feel like a lip color is just way too dark, I will definitely like tie this in because together they fuse and make like a really nice like neutral shade that's a little bit more forgiving as opposed to being so harsh. So love this lip gloss. It's like one of my favorites to mix especially. I think it just pairs well with so many different shades, and it just gives it the added color pinkiness that is needed to bring it to the next level. And now for lip liners, you guys. After this, I have one more thing to talk about. Woohoo! I've been filming for forever in here with this favorites video, or best of beauty. So the 3 lip liners I have are all from MAC, and they're all just super neutral basic shades. So forgive me because I am basic, okay? The first of which is Whirl. Like, that is just a cult favorite. Everybody knows about Whirl. It is such a good shade. I feel like it is perfect for me because I tend to gravitate towards those more neutral mauve shades. And this is like the perfect color to line your lips. And if you're wearing something like the Dainty shade that I just shared with you, you can line your lips with that and pop that in the middle, and it makes a really nice ombre lip. It's really pretty. The next one I've been using a lot is Soar. And this one is also very neutral, but this one is like still mauve, but I think it has like a little bit more of a pinky undertone to it. So I love this one too. So pretty on the lips. And then the last one is Nice and Spicy, which is the Pro Longwear one, and this one is a little bit more of a terracotta undertone. And this one I think has to be my favorite of all three because it is the creamiest of them all. Like, I feel like the other ones are a little bit more dry, whereas this one like kind of just more glides on. It's easier to use, and it is the Pro Longwear one, so it is really nice. It stays a little bit longer than those two, and it just feels a lot better on when you apply it. It's not as dry, I want to say. So those three have been my jams. I feel like lip products have been like my excitement as of lately because I just neglected in the past, and now because I feel like I've just kind of overdone everything else, that's just been my focus as of lately. But I've been really impressed with the lip products that I have. Now, last but not least, eyeshadows. Like, eyeshadows are everything to me. I love eyeshadows, but I feel like I've just become very stagnant with eyeshadows because I have literally palettes on palettes on palettes on palettes. Like, my eyeshadow room is covered in eyeshadow palettes. I have some here, as you can see right behind me. I have some there, some behind my door, some in my drawers. So it's like eyeshadow palettes. So I feel like I kind of just hit like rock bottom with the eyeshadow palettes. I did my time. I'm just done. Like, I'm done buying eyeshadow palettes because I just feel like I have so many and I only have 2 eyes. Like, I will never be able to use any of my eyeshadow palettes to like excess. Like, I will never be able to finish them all because I just have so many. So there are 2 that I did purchase this year that I absolutely love, and one eye product that I loved and I want to share with you guys. These were things that I loved, and when it comes to eyeshadows, I'm very skeptical. I'm very picky. I love to create eyeshadow looks. Like, that's what I love to do when I wake up and I think of what I'm gonna do with my makeup. I think of like what eyeshadow color I'm gonna wear and which palette I want to use, and it's just like my excitement because I love them. So this year I think they had like a lot of cool launches, but nothing that like really drew me in and that I felt like I need to have besides these 2 palettes. And the first of which is from Jaclyn Hill. This is the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill palette. I know that Jaclyn got a lot of flack for this palette, and Jaclyn doesn't pay my bills, but I feel like there's a lot of drama behind this palette. I don't know what went down, but some stuff went down, and I know like a lot of people are like pissed with her. Whatever. I'm doing it for the makeup. I like Jaclyn Hill. She's never hurt my feelings. I don't know her personally, but I love this palette, you guys. This was such a great palette. I think she did a good job with the colors. I think the colors are just so beautiful, so beautiful. It's everything you could ever need in an eyeshadow palette. I took this traveling from the second I got it onward. It's like literally went on every vacation with me, and for the longest time, every time I used to travel, this was the palette that I used to take with me. And on one side of it, it had matte eyeshadows, which are those right there, and then on the other side it had the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows, which I absolutely love. These are like my favorite eyeshadows of all time, these ones in this palette. So I used to always travel with this palette. It was my holy grail palette, and it's like one that I custom made myself. So it was one that, like, you know, I built, and it was perfect for me. So I couldn't really say like, oh, go get these 30 eyeshadows, guys. Like, I feel like it wasn't like fair to you guys because there's no one eyeshadow palette that I absolutely loved. But this one from Jaclyn is just everything I could have possibly wanted. The pigmentation's good. The transition shades are great. Like, I feel like she has one for every skin tone. And then she has like really nice pops of color. So I absolutely love this. The formulation of them are incredible. I was very, very skeptical because Morphe is like hit or miss. but I love this palette. It's really, really, really beautiful, and I cannot get enough of it. Definitely suggest it, and it's pretty affordable for all the colors you get in there. And last but not least is this one from Huda Beauty. This is the Desert Dusk palette, and this palette has my name written all over it. It's got the most beautiful shade range of colors in here. These are colors that I personally love. I love purple on the eyes. It's like my favorite eyeshadow look. And it's got purples, it's got really nice transition shades. I love the oranges, love orange in the lid. It's got nice like copper tones. I just think this palette is really nice, a little bit more expensive, but I love it. And she has like a cool pressed glitter in here. But this palette really does things for me, and it is so beautiful, and I just could not get enough of it. This was something I was really excited for, even though it's a little bit newer. So as far as palettes, those two are the ones that really spoke to me this year and that I actually really loved and suggested to anybody who was in the market for a palette. Now the last eye product I'm going to share with you is one from Stila, and these were really cool, really like well spoken of this year, and they are the Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow. I have the color Rose Gold Retro, and I also just got the set of 6 that Sephora had from my sister-in-law, so I was really excited about that. But this was the first one I ever got, and these are so cool. They're so innovative and they're so different, and you can see how pigmented they are. And I was very skeptical of using this brush, and it's wet, and I usually don't like liquid eyeshadows, but this one is very nice, and the formula is incredible. It's very quick drying, and it just is so pretty. I love it. You can see right there how gorgeous it is. It just literally will glam your look in minutes with this. So this concludes this video, you guys, like forever later. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful 2018. I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.